Would you rather, over the next decade, go to the postseason once but be guaranteed a championship, or go to the postseason 5 times with no guarantee of success?
For the sake of the argument, I would want to go 5 times with no guarantee of success because that gives me 5 chances over 1 chance. However, I will say the 2015 run was really good. I mean, we did have 2014 also, so not exactly the same, but I really don't know if this team would be able to compete with some of those like National League teams, and um, that's kind of black pilling, but at the same time,
So it's interesting because, I mean, what is the goal of a season for a team? It is to win a championship. And you go once and you know that you're going to win a championship. It's easy to take that. And it's easy to take that as a Royals fan, knowing that we've kind of had that scenario where in 2015 the Royals they won a championship, then they didn't go for 9 seasons. Then you have teams. This all stemmed from a conversation I was having with somebody on TikTok. You can follow us on TikTok at Everybody Loves Royals. This all stemmed from a conversation with him where the Rays, Guardians, and Brewers, all three, been to the postseason a combined 19 times over the last 10 seasons. None of them have any championships. The only team that's been to the World Series, well, actually, the Guardians and the Rays both have been to the World Series. Brewers have not. So it kind of stemmed from that. Would you rather have the comfort of, okay, I'm going to go through this season. It's going to be a fun season. We're going to be competitive. We're probably going to make the playoffs, but I don't know what's going to happen after that. Or the Royals, we're going to win a championship, and then for the next 9 seasons, we're going to lose 90 plus games.
I think just from a perspective of the last 10 years, I mean, I loved that World Series we got, but all those following years of zero success and not making the playoffs really it drove a knife into the heart of Kansas City's Royals fans, and every time we don't make the playoffs it twists the knife and it makes you fall out of love. Like I quickly became like super stagnant. I wasn't even paying attention to the Royals for years, and that's something I don't really want ever again because last couple seasons paying attention to the Royals has been great. And we didn't even make the playoffs last year, but I was still invested. And if you're telling me there's a chance, like if you're guaranteeing me in this hypothetical 5 playoff berths, is that what this scenario is? 5 playoff
Yeah,
berths?
5 playoff berths. You could win 5 World Series. You could get booted in the wild card series every time, but you are at least 50% of your seasons you will be there.
I mean, from a Royals perspective, I think the answer kind of needs to be one championship over 10
Yeah.
years. But from a optimistic, you're telling me there's a chance perspective, I think I would personally pick 5 guaranteed playoff berths because in that hypothetical, just for the sake of the argument, we could go 10 times. You're just guaranteeing me 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No,
give me 5. Give me 5 playoff berths guaranteed. Give me. Is that what you're thinking?
I was just giving you
Noggin.
five.
Noggin.
Finn. Yeah. So I go back and forth and I try to remove myself from the Royals thought of it because it's so easy. Like, oh, I wouldn't trade the 2015 World Series championship for anything because it's, you know, 2014, 2015, and then 2024. I'm 29 years old. Those are the only 2 playoff berths the Royals have ever had. They've stunk
Yeah.
pretty much ever since.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they won a championship. But man, I look at it. So I look at it there, and then I go, all right, let's look at it from a Chiefs perspective. And I'm not talking about the Patrick Mahomes era Chiefs. I'm talking about the Chiefs that we grew up with, where it was Trent Green, it was Damon Heward, Alex Smith, where They were good football teams, and they were gonna win 9 to 11 games somewhere in there, and they were gonna go to the playoffs, but they were gonna lose in the wild card round, right? But the regular season was a lot more fun, and
Yeah.
we were invested in the Chiefs during all those years. So, man, I would almost rather go, oh, you're guaranteeing me over the next 10 seasons that the Royals will be in the postseason at least 5 times?
I mean, but again, the 2014 trip to the or to the playoffs in general, that felt like a fluke. Every game we were sweeping people, and we were like, is this sustainable throughout the whole playoffs? Which it wasn't, but all it takes is one magical season like that to really sell it. And from a fan perspective and from the Royals perspective, like the organization, I think the Royals would rather have 5 guaranteed trips to the playoffs, because that's going to get you a lot more. People are buying into the Royals more, and that's going to make the Royals relevant again. When I think that's all they really asked for is, like, I mean, John Sherman's one of his first quotes on record as Chiefs or a Royals owner was, Dayton Moore always said, I know what a World Series team looks like, but I want to know what a wild card team looks like. And that, I think that speaks volumes as to the direction that we're heading. And I think I would just rather have 5 guaranteed trips to the postseason, because last season was really fun. 2024 season was really, really fun. I was bought in. And um, even though we lost, it still made me optimistic. Now, you're looking at the scope of 10 seasons. And if at the end of 10 seasons we have 5 trips but no success, that's going to suck. That's going to make me very, very sad. I'm going to wish that I picked the other one. But, you know, just for the sake of the argument, I think I would pick 5 guaranteed trips.
Yeah, I think I I go back and forth on this one because it's like a ultimate Kansas City hypothetical, just because we kind of have seen that scenario. But I like the idea of going into a season feeling like my team is going to be good and that they have a chance of going, even if that means that they don't go deep into the postseason. If I'm going to spend six months watching the Royals 162 games, I'd much rather go, oh, yeah, they won 90 games. Yeah, they lost in the wild card series. They've got some work that they need to do this offseason to kind of correct some of those issues and come back better. But hey, we'll take it. And that's where I'm at, because I'm just talking about the Chiefs, talking about like just a little bit about me, I guess. Big Dallas Mavericks fan. Dallas Mavericks won a championship in 2011. Then they kept going back to the postseason, and they didn't win a playoff series for a decade. So, but the Mavericks were fun. So,
Yeah. And this whole conversation really just touches on the whole, like, how special is it to actually win a championship? That's why we feel super blessed as Kansas City fans. We were thrusted into the championship atmosphere in 15, and then the Chiefs picked it up, and we've been spoiled as Kansas City sports fans to have sustained success with one of our teams. But uh, it really makes you just value that so much more. And I think that it's something that shouldn't be taken for granted. And I think this conversation is a very not entitled conversation, but it's almost like you see the vibe. I mean, you see what I'm saying. It's like just the fact that it could be like the hypothetical of it. It's pretty entertaining to think about. So
yeah. And I say that with the hypothetical of, would you rather one championship in a decade guaranteed or 5 times? I think the Royals are on the verge of being that. We're going to go to the postseason 5 times in a decade. I think that's what we're seeing right now. I've came up just short. I feel like with health next season that they'll be kind of back in that conversation. Um, it's always fun. I would say let us know what you guys think in the
yeah,
comments. So,
yeah.
would you rather have one championship guaranteed over a decade, or would you rather go 50% of the time over the next decade?
Or would you rather sell out and become a Dodgers fan and know that you're probably going to get a World Series every year?
Yeah, you could do that
Don't do
too, I
that. No,
suppose.
don't do that. Everybody doesn't
Um,
love the Dodgers, but everybody does love the Royals. So
that is true. And speaking of the Royals, let's get into some Royals news because there's a lot that's happened over the last week or so. Little things, nothing major, but some stuff that we've kind of touched on throughout the week, but want to spend a little bit more in this time we have on the podcast. So,
and the timing of it is great, by the way, because we released our first episode, and that same night, minutes after, we announced that we bring back Salvi, and then it was just like a flood of Royals relevant news, which has been fun. It's been nice to get back into it.
yep.
So go
Yeah,
ahead.
so
Sorry,
let's.
sir.
Oh, you're good. Let's kick it off. Bobby Witt Jr. won the Platinum Glove, which is just the known as the best fielder in the American League. I believe that was his first time getting it, but he also won his second Silver Slugger. So he's back-to-back Silver Sluggers at the shortstop position. Well deserved for Bobby Witt Jr. in a down year for him. Still winning awards.
Yeah, Bobby is amazing. He is very, very good at baseball. In case you didn't know, Royals fans, Bobby Witt Jr. is very good at baseball.
So I've heard. Rookie of the Year happened over the last week. Pretty much like we kind of knew that Nick Kurtz was going to win Rookie of the Year for the A's. It was him
Nicholas,
and it
another A's player.
was another A's player. It was okay, so it was Kurtz, Jacob Wilson, Roman Anthony, and then Noah Cameron, Royals pitcher, was fourth. Moses, break down Noah's 2025 and kind of what got him into the top 5 and Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, so Noah Cameron got called up early in the season. It was around June due to starting pitching injuries. What pitcher was it that went down? Was it Bubich?
That might have been
Reagan? Was
it
it
might have
Reagan?
been around the time Bubich or Cole Reagans went down. It was one of the two. I actually think it was Reagans.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure when he came up, we all thought that he was going to be a, give me a quality start once or twice while the other guy gets good or gets better. But turns out Noah Cameron's a stud. He had 24 games in 2025. He had a 9-7 record, 9 wins, 7 losses. He had a sub 3 ERA. He had a 2.99 ERA. He pitched 138 innings, 114 strikeouts, 43 walks. And he's a St. Joe native, in case no one was watching the Royals and didn't hear Ryan Lefevre and Rex Hudler say that every other day. But yeah, Noah Cameron, he really shocked all of us. He became one of our most reliable arms. He might be, I mean, our current staff. Bubich is great, but he's got to stay healthy. He's got to have a full season of work. Seth Lugo, he was great, and then he got paid, and
I think
he,
he'll bounce back. He was
yeah,
hurt.
yeah. Hopefully he bounces back. Cole Reagans is amazing, but again, health might be an issue. He might miss a quarter of his starts. It's not like it's a super common thing, but anything can happen with this whole pitching staff. So for Noah Cameron to come up the way he did and to just ball out all season, quality start after quality start, he, quick math, 24 games, 138 innings. That's over 6 innings every single game, and he only gave up 46 earned runs. And I was telling you earlier, you're telling me that I could get over 6 innings of work and on average less than 2 runs. That's a great pitcher. That's
That's
someone.
you're averaging a quality start if you do that, which is
Yeah,
all you want out of a starter. Go 6
yeah,
innings, give less than 3 runs, and you're solid.
exactly. I'd
Yeah.
be curious to look up what his run support numbers were, but that's not relevant to him. His pitching was what spoke volumes. And fourth place in Rookie of the Year, whenever he didn't even make the roster coming out of spring training, says a lot to the guy. Very proud of him. Good job, Noah Cameron.
Yeah. No, like you said, he came in, he was expected to make a couple spot starts, and then created a problem for the Royals. It created a great problem for the Royals. And now
Yeah.
you look forward to 2026 and you're like, okay, Cole Reagans, Seth Lugo, Noah Cameron, Chris Bubich, Michael Waka. If that's your
Waka waka waka
rotation,
waka 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 waka.
you're
All
pretty
rotation.
happy with that. With that rotation, healthy, with a healthy bullpen, Estevez, Ursig, Daniel Lynch. I feel pretty good about that. Again, contingent on health. That was kind of the big issue paired with the offense in 2025. And with the offense, the Royals have kind of made some changes on the hitting staff. They got rid of a couple of people whose names I don't remember or really care because they're
Get out
gone.
of here. Get out of here.
But to help support Alex Zumwalt, Royals brought in a couple people. Moses, break down the two names that Royals brought in.
So the first guy that the Royals brought in was Connor Dawson, Olathe, Kansas native. He played college ball. He coached college ball. Then he got picked up by the Seattle Mariners for a season. And then he went on to be with the Brewers for a few seasons, for about 2 seasons. And then he got promoted to kind of co-lead the hitting coaches over in Milwaukee. And he's kind of he's probably the bigger of the two names that we've got. He's a younger guy. He's 32. So I am all about young, fresh minds, young, fresh perspectives. And then the second guy, you might recognize him, 2K6 MLB fans. He is a Detroit Tigers legend on 2K6. I hated pitching against him. Marcus Thames, Marcus Thames, Marcus Thames,
His teams.
Marcus Thames. He was actually played in the major leagues from 02 to 11. Played for the Yankees, Rangers, Tigers, Dodgers, and he joined the hitting coach ranks of the Yankees in 2016. He moved on and went to the Miami Marlins, then the Angels of Anaheim, and then the White Sox most recently. What are you laughing at?
The Angels of Anaheim.
Hey,
Yeah, so if I look at these two names, Connor Dawson, Marcus Thames, I'm really excited about Connor Dawson. He's with the Brewers. We've seen what the Brewers have done the last few years. The Brewers have been a top offense for past 3 or 4 years. Marcus Thames, spending time with the Angels and White Sox, like, okay, sure, I guess. But if you're trying to bring in a different philosophy, bring in new names, I'm with you on bringing in young talent. I think something that I'd rather bring in young talent than keep hiring retreads, keep hiring people that have been fired by other teams that have these proven track records. Bring in somebody new, bring in somebody with a different voice, somebody a little bit more relatable to the players, and some new age ideas. I'm assuming he's very analytically driven, which is kind of where we are in this day and age of baseball, but I'm happy about it. I'm happy. I was kind of in the camp of the Royals needing to move off of Alex Zumwalt, but I think
who is the Royals head hitting coach?
yeah, right. And I think if you're going to keep him, bring in they had to do something different on the hitting staff this year, and this, I think, hits the spot.
Yeah, which that kind of touches on our conversation from episode 1 last week, where you just got to appreciate Piccolo and Quatrero doing something to they're taking action, and I really appreciate it. Connor Dawson is probably the bigger, like I said, of the two names, just because the sustained success that he had in Milwaukee, which is something that we have not had in Kansas City. So I'm excited to have that face in our clubhouse for sure.
So we've got a couple of transactions Royals made, both small ones, both that I kind of see as just like a depth filling out the minor league roster, not anybody that's going to be an impact player. I think some people saw the move that the Royals made. The Royals made a trade with the Rays earlier last week for their outfielder Cameron Misner for player to be named later and cash consideration. Shout out to cash considerations. Guys always getting traded. But Cameron Misner, they're like, oh, he's going to be their answer for the outfield. I'm like, no, he's going to be depth. He's going to probably go to the minors and come up every now and then and play just a very small role on the major league roster if he does at all. Of that, we signed Connor Kaiser, shortstop out of Blue Valley West. Again, nothing like, whoa, breaking news, but transactions.
Yeah, it looks like Cameron Misner is going to be another piece, kind of similar to what we've seen, getting called up and called down. Um, who knows? You never know. People like this, they could ball out and call them up. And, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, that would be best case scenario. They're like, oh, Cameron Misner, corner piece of the Royals. And, change of scenery sometimes. That's all it takes.
Yeah, you see guys like Paulo Orlando come up and they ball out. So hey,
True. Paulo
no Cameron
Orlando.
Misner.
Yeah, Paulo Orlando was 29 before he ever saw Major League service. And he was
Zach.
fun for like 2 seasons.
Yeah, he was fun for the first like week hitting triples. Paulo Triple O. Shout
Yeah.
out Paulo Triple O.
All right. So there's been a story around really sports for a while regarding gambling. There's been a lot of gambling issues, gambling scandals in the NFL, in with Calvin Ridley and a few other people. NBA just had a huge gambling thing go down where 30 plus people have been arrested. Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups was arrested as well. He's the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers.
What are we
There's
doing,
there's
Chauncey?
a lot of nonsense going down, and all of this is kind of stemming from prop bets, where you can bet on individual players, individual scenarios that don't necessarily have an impact on the overall outcome of the game, but it's something that a player could easily manipulate. In the NBA, a lot of stuff that was happening was like betting the under. You have over under bets, betting the under on points or betting the under on minutes played. That's something that a player can easily manipulate. If their over under is 13, 13 and a half, whatever, okay, I'm going to score 9 points and then I'm never going to shoot the ball again, or whatever, right? 10
Mm-hmm.
points and I'm never going to
Yeah.
shoot the ball again. Or my over under is 18 and a half minutes. I'm going to play for 15 minutes and then I'm going to pull a hamstring, right? And I'm going to get a payout from whatever that under is. And that's happening in baseball. Back in July, two Cleveland Guardians pitchers got put on administrative leave, Luis Ortiz, and more notably, Emmanuel Clase, who's one of the better closers in all of baseball. And they were under investigation for manipulating pitches. And it was also related to prop bets. Hey, is this pitch going to be a ball or a strike? And there were a couple pitches that tipped off some gambling integrity firms where there was a uncharacteristic betting pattern on certain pitches of this Luis Ortiz pitch is going to be a ball, and you go and see the Luis Ortiz pitch in question, and it's not even close to the strike zone. It's not even close to where the batter could maybe swing at it. And this happened twice in June, which kind of tipped off the betting. But both Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz have been indicted on charges stemming from the alleged gambling misconduct, specifically manipulating bets on individual pitches. That's from CBSSports.com. CBS Sports further into this article, Clase's alleged actions date back to May of 2023. So this has been going on for a couple years with Clase, while Luis Ortiz began in June of 2025. Clase's actions are alleged to have benefited bettors by a sum of $700,000, while Ortiz's accrued to the benefit of co-conspiring gamblers by a sum of 60 grand. Overall, bettors have made 450K off of this. And
A milli, half
yeah,
a milli.
if both of, and this goes on, Class A was alleged to have communicated with bettors through text message during games. So he's sitting there in the bullpen setting all this up. I don't know.
Hey, coach, I gotta go take a deuce real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a ball.
Right. So if they are convicted of all charges, they could face up to 65 years in prison. So this is serious. The odds of Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz being back in baseball is basically zero.
No.
This is, yeah, from a Royals standpoint, you're like, oh, we don't have to look at Emmanuel Clase anymore.
Yeah.
That's good because
Yeah.
he's very, very good.
If I may chime in, that's literally what I was going to say. From a surface level, there's really two schools of thought. It's wow, this sucks for sports. This sucks because yet again we have another sport with another scandal with gambling. You know, you out there can have your own opinion on gambling. It's just you hate to see this in sports. You hate to see the integrity of the sport getting in question. How many times have we watched a NFL game where the entire time the other side of the fan base is thinking this is rigged, the refs are in the other team's pocket, this is they're all getting paid off, they're all getting these calls, and stuff like this validates those ridiculous conspiracy theories. And I know that it's just a ball thrown here and there, but whenever the conversation of sports integrity comes into question, it just drives me freaking crazy because it's the last thing you want. These people obviously know how it's going to get cracked down on, and we've seen college players place bets on sports that aren't even college sports or whatever, and they still get in trouble. We've seen NFL players place a bet on a single college game, then they can get suspended for the whole season. And for these players to think that they can get away with that is hilarious in 2025. You really think that you're going to be able to rig games? And you know, on the second hand of surface level observation, as a Royals fan, you're kind of like, oh no, what a shame, because Class A has obviously kicked our butts as a Guardians player. And then Ortiz, I will be honest, I can't remember off the top of my head how many starts he's made against the Royals in the last season or two. But
He's,
I'm sure he's made an impact.
I mean,
And
he's basically, if you, most people are like, who the heck is Luis Ortiz? That's kind of who he is. Everybody knows who Class A is, but Luis Ortiz is like, who?
yeah, yeah. And so looking at it, just so everyone is clear, neither one of these players need to be doing this. It seems to be like a common theme when it comes to sports players getting in, or sports figures getting in gambling conspiracies and gambling issues. You always wonder why they did it. What's the motivation behind this? And Class A is probably one of the biggest question marks. Literally, why the heck are you doing this? That man is he in 2022. Emmanuel Class A signed a 5-year, $20 million extension. That man is making $4 million a year, and for him to be throwing pitches, like intentionally throwing bad pitches in exchange for a few $1,000s at a time,
Yeah.
what are we doing? Is the devil on his shoulder really that 99 level speech? Like, how does someone, how are you this stupid? Like, you're ruining it for not only yourself, but for the entire sport. And it is just so stupid.
Yeah. And I think that's what's interesting. You look at Class A specifically and you look at his contract and you're like, why? Because it's probably like 5 or 10 grand a pitch that he's doing. And he's not doing it that often. And
Exactly.
gambling has been an issue in sports for a century. It's not like, oh,
Yeah.
now that gambling is legal, it's all of a sudden a big problem. It definitely, I think, enhances the problem. But on the flip side, I think the legalization of gambling has helped streamline some of these processes to where they can go, oh, holy crap, something weird's happening, and they can stop this stuff faster.
Yeah. Which is good.
But it's a bad deal all around. Luis Ortiz making significantly less money. He's still in his pre-arbitration years, so he's making less than $1 million a year. So
Yeah.
a little more motivation, but still you're gonna throw away an entire career, a dream that people grow up having to make a few grand every now and then on random pitches.
Muy es muy estúpido.
That's good. That's good French right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
took German in high school.
yeah, I'm sure we'll talk more about that as we learn more. But um,
That's
yeah,
probably the biggest MLB news of the week. So wanted to make
yeah,
sure everyone was informed and kind of was
these
on the up and up.
these gambling issues I think aren't going away. Like I said, there's a bunch of stuff going down with the NBA right now, where like the mafia is involved, and it's crazy. Um, but
That's
let's move
scary.
off of that and kind of close off the show, Moses, with it's obviously the off season, and you think, oh, there's really nothing going on. Well, there's really a lot going on. So let's break down some of these notable dates that we can look forward to during the winter months.
Yeah. So I don't know about you guys at home, but I am a junkie when it comes to sports and all the things that I could be plugged into throughout the off season. And lucky for you, there's a lot going on, a lot to look forward to. November 2nd was the beginning of free agency. November 6th was the deadline for qualifying offers. November 10th through 13th, so right now, is the general managers meetings in Las Vegas. JJ Piccolo's out there repping the Royals. Let's go, JJ. November 18th is the qualifying offer decisions deadline. November 21st is the non tender deadline. December 8th through 11th is the winter meetings. December 9th is the draft lottery. December 10th is the Rule 5 draft. And then in January and February, we got arbitration filing deadline. International signing period opens for your international non-U.S. players. That's mid-January, around the 15th. And then early February, that's when we start getting into the meat of the season. That's when your arbitration hearings happen and the spring training reports happen, like pitcher and catcher report, and everyone's checking into spring training. So, more relevant, let's get back to where we're at now. We're in free agency. Um, so on the 6th, 5 days ago, we had the qualifying offer deadline. We were all excited a few days ago when free agency opened up. You know, we all sit here and we're like, oh, look, who are we going to sign? But in baseball, it's a little different. First, we have qualifying offers. So all the free agents that teams like to keep, they get a qualifying offer. So Brandon, why don't you to explain real quick what a qualifying offer is?
Yeah, so qualifying offer, it's a 1 year deal, and this year the number's set at $22 million. So this is an offer that a team can offer a player that has been on their team all season long and
An
has
offer a team can offer a player?
yeah, thanks, and has not and hasn't been offered that in the past. So it is it's a thing that teams do. They're going to offer a player the qualifying offer, knowing that the odds of them accepting it are very low, but the teams offer it because if the player declines it and then signs elsewhere, the team that offered it gets a compensatory pick for next season's draft, which obviously if you're a small market team, you kind of build your team in the draft and in trading. So having that compensatory pick, hey, I'm obviously gonna offer this qualifying offer, and yeah, you
Yeah.
from the Royals' standpoint, a good example is when Eric Hosmer and Lorenzo Cain walked. The Royals offered both of them a qualifying offer. Both of them declined. Eric Hosmer signed with the Padres, and Lorenzo Cain signed with the Brewers. And the Royals got compensatory picks. They had the 30. So with the 33rd pick in that next season's draft, they drafted Jackson Kowar. With the 34th pick, they drafted Daniel Lynch. Daniel Lynch still on the team, making an impact with the Royals now in the bullpen. Jackson Kowar got traded away in 2023 for Kyle Wright, who's no longer on the team. So, you win some or lose some, but you get something in return for that player walking.
So with qualifying offers, I kind of made the analogy like a football term is kind of like a franchise tag, but it's not tying that player to the team. So you're kind of just throwing an offer out there, hoping that this player makes it. If you look at some of these qualifying offers, some of the players are older. Seems like some of these teams don't want to commit to big contracts for the amount of money that they're probably going to get in free agency. So moving on from qualifying offers, right now we're in the general managers meeting in Las Vegas. And then next week, later next week, we have the non-tender deadline. Do you have an explanation as to what the non-tender deadline is?
So the non-tender deadline, and the non-tender deadline um, is big because it'll kind of finish the puzzle of what the free agent market will look like. So the non-tender deadline, you have players that get to a point where they're arbitration eligible, where them and their agent can present a number that they think they're worth to a team, and the team can counter with a number that those players are worth. So the non-tender deadline is the deadline that the teams have to give an offer to arbitration eligible players. And if they don't offer a contract or a number by the non-tender deadline, those players are free agents. They are no longer tied to the team that they're on. They get to walk and be a free agent, and they can go anywhere.
Gotcha. So does that play into people avoiding arbitration?
So arbitration, yes and no. Avoiding arbitration is obviously the goal for the team and the player, because you want to come to a number that you believe is fair. So if you avoid
So if someone avoids arbitration, they're just signing a contract.
they've agreed to a deal. Yeah.
Okay, I
Yep.
see. And if they do not agree to a deal, they are in arbitration.
They'll go to those arbitration hearings in February, and those are kind of fun, because you have an arbitrator, you have the third party, and how it works is, like I said, the player and their agent, they come up with a number, and they're like, okay, I'm worth 20 million a year, whatever. And the team goes, well, I think you're worth 12 million a year. And
That's fine.
what happens there is the arbitrator picks one number or the other. It's not like a let's come to the middle and no, you're worth 16 million. It is no, you're worth 20 million and here's why, or no, you're worth 12 million and here's why. And then you go and sign a 1 year deal on that salary. And it's kind of like a sucky position to be in, because if you're the player, you're like, here's why I'm good, here's why I'm awesome, like here's why I deserve this, and then the team that wants you would love to have you on their team has to go, well, yeah, here's why I don't think they're worth this, and they have to kind of be like, yeah, this is why they suck. Like, so it's really not like in the room, it's not fun, but it's an interesting concept. So that is the goal, is to avoid that. And something that Dayton Moore was notorious for was avoiding arbitration. He was always able to come to a number. I think he went to arbitration one time, and it was for Brandon Maurer. For anybody who knows who that is, I don't remember who he is either. So
Well, cool. Um, yeah, so I think that's what we have looking forward to right now, or I think that's what we have to look forward to right now. So, um, yeah,
yeah,
we'll go ahead and post this calendar so everyone can stay plugged in and stay up to date, and we'll touch on it every time it's relevant.
yeah.
Um,
I would say, and we'll get to it way sooner, but I think if you're like, what should I look forward to on this calendar, you should look forward to the winter meetings that show up in December, because the winter meetings are typically where your big name free agents get signed. So this is where you're going to see Kyle Tucker probably get signed, Pete Alonso, Alex Bregman. That's where you're going to see those deals get made, is during the winter meetings. So if you're like, when's something going to happen, look for that.
Good to know, because I didn't really know that, so that's good to know. Yeah, I think me, along with a lot of people, we saw the tweets that would say free agencies today. We all get excited, and you kind of expect a lot of people to just get jumped on and get deals, but I don't think that's really how baseball is. So,
Yeah, a
uh,
little slower in baseball. Like NBA and NFL are both like boom, 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 boom.
they're like, what?
I said boom, 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 boom.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Five big booms.
Boom, 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 boom. Oh, your little brother died. Oh, that sucks. Boom, boom, boom,
Five
boom,
big booms for
boom.
your little brother.
Oh man.
All right. Well, yeah. So we'll have more on the
Moron.
we'll have more on more pause space on the off-season calendar and everything going down there. And obviously, we'll touch on any Royals news that happens between now and next week and so on. But until then,
Leave a comment below on not only you think how we're doing, but also what else if there's anything you want us to talk about. Um, if you have any opinions on some of these people we talked about today, how you feel about gambling, everything here. Tell us what you're excited about this off season. Yeah, stay plugged in.
see you next week.
All right, guys. Peace. Peace.